situation. Let's get those bites, and then we can continue with this discussion.
Jina la William Samoei Ruto haitakuwako.
Jana amesema akiwa Lamu kwamba jina ya deputy president haitakuwa ballot paper. Deputy president, let me tell you, we don't know who Atwoli is speaking for. Mtu mwenye ana jukumu, ana mamlaka ya kutabiri mambo ya kesho ni Mungu peke yake, si mwana.
William Ruto atakuwa kwa race. Mimi nataka mujipange, mulete candidate, musimamishe mbele yetu, tupishane, tushindane, kura iamue.
The only thing that can stop William Ruto is a defeat in a free and fair election.
Right. You know, Itonga, when statesmen talk, if you go to the US, the likes of John Baker, the likes of Dick Cheney, the likes of Colin Powell, when they express themselves on national issues, hardly will you find the people for which those issues are expressed to hirings to respond. You know, they go and reflect on the issues. If Desmond Tutu speaks today on an issue, the president of South Africa, Ramaphosa, will go to him and ask him, what did you mean? What are the issues? Why did you raise such issues? In Kenya today, we have very few statesmen. Atwoli, to me, qualifies as a statesman because of his age and the accomplishments he has made in his life. And he's not a politician, he's not partisan. He has never sought for any public or political office. So it is actually wrong for the likes of my friend Didwar Baraza here and Aluale, who are clearly on the payroll of the deputy president, to come out to talk at Atwoli when Atwoli has actually expressed himself and he has actually outlined issues.
When you say they're on the payroll of the deputy president, substantiate that. What do you mean?
What I mean is that these are people who receive stipends every weekend to go and make noise about certain national issues.
Well, the good thing is that Didmas Baraza is here, so you can let us know.
So I have not finished. So it is actually, we want the deputy president to invite Atwoli for a meeting and ask him, why did you raise these issues? Because Atwoli is not interested in running for political office.
But one would argue that Atwoli is speaking for the labor force because he does represent a considerable part of the labor force.
No. Yeah. Atwoli is beyond labor force. Atwoli is a statesman. That's the definition that you need to take. And when you get people like now, Boni Aluale, you know, are the ones who are responding, you know, this is really out of taste. And I think as a country, we must get to the level where we can really respect and address issues. As a person in leadership today, if you clearly bring issues to me, I will look at those issues and maybe interrogate them.
All right.
But the way we are going, Kenyans and leaders need to be awake that Kenya is not going to be run this way.
When you say Kenyans and leaders, you are one of them. Yes. So I don't know whether you are referring to yourself as well.
I am. Yes, I am.
You're a member of parliament.
Yes, I am in that category. And I think what I'm trying to say is that we have to be awake and we have to know that Kenyans will no longer take us for granted.
Okay.
As part of leadership, we must be genuine and we must address issues as raised by Kenyans.
Honorable Didmas, can I hear from Weda before I come to you? Because I'll give you a right to respond.
Yes. First of all, let me say that it's unfortunate that we have coined something called launching. It's only satellite vehicles that are launched and you see them going into space. But something came, the likes of Mheshimiwa Tande, Didmas here, they write small checks of 5,000 CDF checks for scholarships for children. And then they keep those checks until the day they want to launch them. Then they go around, they call people. It has been unfortunate and it is taking valuable time. This one, even the deputy president should stop. You go there somewhere in a corner in the middle of some bush, then you say, we have now launched this. And there's nothing. We only know laying the foundation, starting the works, and official opening. But launching is a new word. Be that as it may, I really do not expect people like Mheshimiwa Tande to refer to a deputy president of the Republic of Kenya in derogatory terms. You are bound to respect and honor your colleague, your leader. He has done much more than you may do unless you're very careful.
That's irrelevant.
Looking at what Honorable the Labour Atwoli, you cringe when you hear his name. Will he be dead? Will he bow out? What will happen? We don't expect such hilarious and chilling statements from people that we hold dear, people whose voices are big enough when they speak. He should have said maybe the deputy president will be bad or he will be in jail. But when you say will not be there, and you hear the Mheshimiwa from Kimilili also talk about witch doctors, and Atandi also talk all these things, you get to fear. What are they talking about? When you hear leaders like talking about these people on payroll, people are doing this, well, people are dying of hunger in this country. I expect you to talk about it. I expect you to bring legislation barring what is called launching projects. You say this is the anti-launching act where leaders will not masquerade all over villages and corners launching projects, so that we concentrate on the 4 agenda items. Right. One of them is food.
All right, yes. Honorable Didmas Baraza, we come back to where we started off from. Kenyans are hungry, they're some who are dying of hunger. We're staring at drought with delayed rains. Rather than get solutions to these things, we have what you're calling launching projects, which I'm not sure using public participation, that's what the public want. Why don't we discuss things or matters that matter to Kenyans? For instance, how are we going to deal with the drought issue?
You see, these matters of dealing with the drought, as members of parliament, our only role is limited to approving supplementary budget if the government brings. If the government doesn't have money to feed the general population, then they should request for more money.
The legislature is where it starts. We expect that debate to be had in parliament on matters that we care about, rather than what's going to happen in 2022, who's going to be president, who's not going to be on the ballot.
Matters on policy, on laws, on directive or resolve to the government by National Assembly is made on the floor of the House, not in funerals. So you don't expect us to direct government in funerals. But the issues of fuel increase, I think you remember when some of us opposed to the 8% VAT, when the likes of Atandi said Baba has been told them to support the VAT, they went ahead and they whipped members of parliament from their parties who never supported, who didn't support the rallying call to support the 8% VAT. So these are fellas who actually flip-flops, and also coming here and saying that we speak on behalf of the DP because we've been paid. It's a confirmation. You know, Gitonga, Michael, if you are a kind of a man who always cheats on your wife, when your wife goes to fetch water, you think she also has similar characters, you want to climb on the rooftop to find out whom she's greeting along the way. So this is completely how Atandi is portraying that they are that kind of a person, because they have been they have lived in the slavery of Odingaism for very many years. So they believe that when you see someone defending the other party, then it means either that same person is not in his senses, either he is in some similar slavery, or he has been bought. And the type of revolution, the type of prayer, deliverance that we pray for this country is for people to be saved from the slavery of Odingaism, where my friends have been suffering for a very long time. And this explains why the very many parts of Luo Nyanza are undeveloped. These are fellas after elections, or whichever way, they go to disrupt the businesses, ban businesses, chase away investors.
That convention,